And hello, welcome to this week's Sound Like. I'm Colin.
I'm Rob, and this week we're going to sound like Bagheera.
Bagheera?
Well, nearly.
As in the Jungle Book, the
yeah.
panther. I think he means actually Gojira. So
that's close enough.
It's Mario Duplantier, one of my all-time favourite drummers in the metal genre anyway. So
and one that was asked for.
Exactly. I think it's our most asked for one, actually. This is going to be very, very hard.
Yeah,
he's an incredible player. And I've, of course, chosen the hardest stupid thing. So let's see how we do.
Be sweaty later. Yeah. This is how that works
out.
So,
where do you want to start? Like kits first, or...?
I was going to start with snare.
Okay.
Because I'd already picked it and already narrowed it down and have already ordered it up from the warehouse. So it's the one right on the shelf that I'm going to pick out.
How did you come to said decision?
So, looking at his gear, he plays a lot of different sort of tours and things like that. But consistently, he's always been a very sharp snare sound, and we've narrowed it down to going, oh, it's one of those Tama ones you can't buy anymore.
The Bell Bronze, I believe. A huge sounding snare and super rare, and it's probably about £2,000.
More, I think, if you get an original. But anyway, so I've cheated.
Also, there's no budget.
Oh yeah, we didn't say that. So this really lightweight Pearl one.
This is an amazing, so it's a 6.5?
Yeah.
So free floater, unbelievable, look at that.
No screw holes in the actual shell, so
there's no interference with the actual resonance of the actual shell itself. Should we give it a little?
I mean, I've only just got this out of the box, so this isn't tuned.
Okay, well maybe later then.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that.
Die-cast hoop, so it's got a real sharp sound, and you can absolutely crank these.
Which is perfect for these songs.
So I'm picking that.
Sick, cool. So now we're on to kits. So he's a Tama player, but he plays a Star Classic Babinga. Well, he's played some
that we can't get.
So Babinga is now a super endangered species, so it's impossible for us to get. But we do.
I made multiple phone calls to try and get one,
and just nothing came through. So unfortunately, we're going to try and stick with the same brand and try and make it as as close as possible representation-wise. But that does mean we've only got one Tama kit in, isn't it? So follow us, I've run out the camera lens. Careful, mate. So it's the, do you want to explain the kit?
Yeah, so this is a Kapoor. So this is in the same family as Babinga, and hopefully it's going to give us a similar characteristic.
So these are the stock heads on there at the moment. So they are coated, but we are going to switch them to clear. The coated do kind of deaden the sound a little bit too much for our liking, and we do want those drums to really sing. So hopefully you'll get a contrast of that and the other one. I'm just going to quickly hit that bass drum as well and just... Oh, mate, it's going to be lush.
Yeah, so we're going to tune it up, give it plenty of punch. The only thing that we aren't replicating is this is 10, 12, 16, and he uses like ginormous, like 13,
14. Yeah, with such a peculiar size as it is.
However low I can get away with feasibly tuning these, I will, but they're not going to be fully replicas of what he plays.
As long as the tension rods don't go
and so
come out.
Bass drums work great. And the snare, that other snare, because we're not even going to use this one, will be cranked and be amazing. So, kit done. Hardware, we'll just pick general hardware.
I do need to, I mean, my preference with double kick pedals is normally DW9000, but I kind of wanted to try a couple of different ones. So maybe have a look. He's pointing.
I'd play this Trick one personally.
The Trick?
I think it's great. They do a longboard version which feels a bit nicer, but that's the chain version of the Pro V1.
I think this will actually be more consistent with my playing, because I'm not a longboard player. That's more kind of for your super fast death metal kind of thing.
Or big feet.
Already, it's almost like I don't really have to try, and it's already giving me that power behind the punch. So let's go for these bad boys. So
lastly, cymbals. He's a Zildjian player, isn't he?
Correct, yes, absolutely.
But some of the cymbals he uses, or some that people say he uses, don't.
There's some conflicting information, but I've watched a lot of his live footage. He's got a Z3 China, which we can't get.
Yep, they don't. Also, he uses sometimes 13-inch, sometimes 14-inch, sometimes 15.
Yeah, 15 new beats as well. But we've done a little bit of research, to be honest. So we do have 14 new beats in the top left-hand corner. Also, another thing to note is he used a bell smack bang in between his two crashes. But then he switched to a splash, and then it looked like a stack at some point. I was going to say,
one of the ones I looked at was a bell on top of a splash.
Yeah, okay, so I reckon just go for the Zill bell underneath those two. and then we can try and actually quite accurately replicate his crashes. So he uses a custom projection. We've only got the 19, so the 18 we might have to go for something else. Any ideas? I mean, we've got quite a few A customs.
Just go for a fast A custom.
Yeah. Have a look. Oh, so here's the projection. It
might be,
as you can see,
might be under the in the flight case.
These are perfect for like the heavier metal playing. Super bright, super fast. So
let's go for that.
Down there.
18 fast, that'll do.
Oh, nice. Do you want
to? Oh, I don't want to drop it.
So, bang, 3 away. So I think the Chinas are going to be the trickiest bit. I obviously want to stick with Zildjian.
And the ride, he uses a Z3 or a Mega Bell
it's a Mega Bell, yeah, so, which is another one we can't get.
So I said originally that we should probably go for this bad boy because the bell on this, when I can get it off the wall. So
I've actually got the 20 of this. So it's perfect between, you've got one as well. I think just absolutely perfect for you to get a nice wash. So it's almost like a K mixed with an A. So superb 6 definition.
Because the bell is unlathed and is a lot thicker than the body of the cymbal, you do get quite a strong bell on that. So
it's going to be great for the art of dying, which made me want to die in itself. So Chinas, I mean, immediately looking at these two. Well, there's no other Chinas here.
He uses 20-inch Chinas.
A custom again, and they're
massive,
so huge sounding. As we go for these two, can we just compare these?
These eat your ears, these Orientals.
These are beautiful, but they're going to be mega, so just going to be a little bit. I mean, I'm really not hitting that hard already. So Sparrow,
and you've wanted to use that for ages, but we haven't done an on-budget one, so
exactly. I absolutely adore these cymbals. The Orientals would be a little bit more gongy, so that will probably be a bit more like the A custom that he's got.
I think we're going to tune these.
You were saying about sim pads.
Yeah, right? I think we're going to tune these because the room.
You're going to tune these
by putting more dampening in the cup.
Isn't that just dampening, not tuning? So we've got all our gear, Sparrow, absolutely beautiful. And we've got this beautiful Christmas tree kit behind us. Are you ready to go?
This is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
I can't wait to hear that. I bet it's going to beat my brain.
Yeah, let's go and see how it sounds.
I'm excited about this. Let's go. So that was our interpretation of Gojira, or rather, Bagheera, as it was. I thought,
easy mistake. Come on.
I mean, yeah, it's absolutely fine.
We had quite a challenge with regards to figuring out what his setup was. He's used different size rack toms. He's used different on a rack, kits, not like, on a rack.
Yeah.
Even the material. So we had to track that down. So we sort of hopefully come to our best compromise. So we sort of went for his live setup on a couple of his shows or various different tours where he's using a Star Classic Bubinga.
But this is Kapoor, isn't it?
Yeah, we chose Kapoor. Okay. So same family of trees, slightly different wood. And then we've gone 10, 12, 16, but he's quite often using
it's
like...
13, 14, 16.
Yeah,
so huge
sizes.
Yeah. I think the fact that this kit is about a fifth of the price of the Star Classics as well. Especially the Bubingas being an endangered species of wood now as well.
Yeah, you can't even get them. So this is crazy. Same brand and a similar wood, but 2 smaller sizes. So we tuned them really low, clear heads on them for some attack. And then we sort of went to the snare. So the snare was our discussion for quite a while, wasn't it?
I think that was the hardest part, because he's using a Bell bronze, like
there's various different ones.
So rare to find something like that, and we don't really keep them in the store. So you went for, well, it was your decision. You found the free floater.
Yeah, so
you are a free floater.
Thanks.
Anytime, babe.
Basically, the Pearl free floater system, you can exchange the shell because they're not drilled. This is a bronze shell, so we just cranked that and it sounded great.
It's now my new favourite snare.
I did say that to you.
I hate you so much. You were totally right. I feel like the cymbals as well, similar kind of thing. We were relatively spot on. There were a couple of little differences. Mainly, I mean, if we first talk about the Chinas, we didn't have either of his Chinas in stock. One of them's a Z3, I think.
And one's a 20 as well, isn't it?
I think they're both 20s. Or one's a 19. So he's got an A custom, which is so bright and stuff. So we went for a K. K19, which sounded lush, I feel, and we used the sim pads to kind of just take over the wash a bit. You know, we're in a relatively small room, so it is a bit overpowering. And then we went for the Oriental as well. So both of those, something about that. It's kind of like, reminds me of Gene Hoglan as well. So just like, da-da-da.
It is about knowing your environment. He plays huge festivals, and even the stage is massive. So,
well, this is the thing. I mean, like playing those parts as well. I can't lie, my adrenaline was going crazy. And it's just made that respect for Mario even more. That he does that in front of thousands of people. On
the whole song as well.
Yeah, not just, no, messed up, no, messed up. But unbelievable player, unbelievable.
But it is knowing your environment. So we got slightly smaller Chinas and we put big sim pads underneath just to try and get some of the overtones away. So it's just tuning to your environment as well as the gear you've got. So hopefully we got the sound.
Yeah, I think we were relatively spot on.
And he uses bigger hi-hats as well, doesn't he?
He uses 15, so we're using 14s. Again, we didn't have the 15s in stock, unfortunately. And he commonly, I've seen him use like a little stack as the splash. I've seen him use a bell, and I've also seen him use an A custom splash. So we went for the bell just for that crazy pattern one at the end of Remembrance, just to get that kind of articulation with the
We also muted that. We tried different sim pads with that, and just to try and that rings on for about a week.
Yeah, but it was a good week, wasn't it?
But let's be honest, we used the same heads, same brands of cymbals, and we've tried to really get, because we're not on a budget, we can just get what we like off the wall.
Exactly.
It was well played.
Well, thanks very much.
It did
stressful.
Sound good.
But again, if you haven't checked out Gojira, 100% do. One of my favourite metal bands in the world. And it's his like jazzy, like influences as well, kind of pop through his playing. Again, unbelievable. Well done, Mario.
And it was one of your most asked for, so we jumped on that bandwagon.
So thanks so much for joining us this week. I've been Colin.
I've been Rob.
Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.